Today we're going to be making the Netflix intro, and yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is delete everything in our scene. So let's click A on the keypad, X to delete everything in our scene. The next thing is we're going to bring in our logo. So let's go into the top orthographic view. So I'm clicking 7 on the numpad. Going into top orthographic view. Let's bring in a reference image and let's get the logo. We have our Netflix logo as in the picture. We're going to try and trace this. So we'd have to get a mesh, and the mesh we're going to be using is the plane mesh. So I'm just going to get plane mesh, try and trace it. Let's just get this right up there and trace the N. Just trying to get it as best as we can to the original. Okay, so we have first N, and now we're going to duplicate this. We're going to say Shift D, and we got a duplicate. I'm going to bring this to the side. I'm going to rotate it a bit and try and also just make it according to the N in the reference image. Okay, so let's get the other side. I was actually trying to make this N to be like in one motion, but it wasn't really working out. And then I just decided to make it separate because it's easier to control the animation when it comes to animating it. Yeah. So let's get the other N. So let me duplicate this one. 50, duplicating it. And let's get this rotated. And let's bring it more to the side. That. Okay. Almost done. So what we're going to do now, so we have completed the N, but I'm just going to try and put this a little bit lower than it is. So I'm just going to pull up this panel and I'm going to make this minus 0.01. Okay. And I'm going to make this one also minus 0.01. just so it goes below the panels. Just like how the in the Netflix logo is. I'm just having a look, see if it's looking good. And put this more in line. I think it's good. Okay, so now we have that completed. I'm just gonna rename my panel, my meshes. So I'm gonna call this N1, call the second one N2, and the third one we'll call it N3. So we have basically our Netflix N ready for animation. So that's what we're gonna go into next. So the next step is to animate it, and we're gonna try and animate this. So I tried several ways to do this, but like using um, armatures and a lot of things. And then the best way I found to do it was using shape keys, because it's more simpler and it's you can animate the shape keys. So how do we do that? Get the first in up and down and up again. We're gonna have to go into our shape keys tab and create a shape key for each of these. So let's click it once and let's click it again. We have our shape key for the first N1, and let's click on the snapping tool. Also, let's go into vertex mode. Now that's gonna create a snap for our vertexes when we are in edit mode. So let's go into edit mode, and we're just gonna try and bring this down to the bottom. These to the bottom. So here you go, it's snapping. Let's snap the side. We have, and let's see if it works. Let's go in back to the object mode, and as you can see, it's working. We have the first one working for the shape key for N1. Let's do N2. Let's create a shape key so that it's in vertex mode. Let's go into edit mode. Let's select these two, and let's bring it up. Make sure you bring the cursor right to the point so that it gets in and you can uh, snap it. So let's go back into tab mode, and that's also working. So the last one is N3. Create a shape key for that. Go into edit mode. Let's bring it there. Bring this bottom here. Now we have all working. So everyone is you can animate it now because we use shape keys. And that's basically how you do the effect. And now all we have to do in step 3 is to color and animate the camera. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's get into coloring. Let's get into the material panel and select new. Go into shader. Click the first N. Let's add in our nodes. The first node would be let's get a Voronoi texture. And let's add a color ramp to that. So we're gonna connect that there and connect the color to the alpha. And let's bring this up. Okay, so we have that. Now we're gonna add in a node mapping and a texture coordinate. And let's change the type to UV. And let's duplicate, or let's add in another color ramp. Let's connect this to the color ramp and connect the color to the base and the emission. Let's increase the emission to about 5. Now we have our setup. So once we have this, we can now try and make the lines. So let's increase the scale here to about 60, 61, 6600, I think. Let's keep the detail to 1. Decrease the randomness a bit. Now let's go into the mapping and let's play around with the mapping. So let's see what's gonna work. The So here we got lines going down, which is what we are looking for. There we can decrease or increase the scale of it. Now what we can do is we can try and color it. So let's color it by going into here. Let's select our first color, make it red. Let's get another color here. Let's maybe add in some yellow. Some blue. Let's add in some green maybe. I think that's good. And I think it's okay. Let's see. Okay, so we have that sorted out. Have our colors sorted out. Um, let's see how we can now link these colors to the other ones. So I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna select the second N2, and then I'm gonna select this one, and then I'm gonna select Control L, and I'm gonna link materials. Now we have the same material linked for every single one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and animate this so that the lines go down. So how do we do that is we go on to the okay, so you see this X is affecting lines on the Y on the X axis, so that's what we don't want. So let's put that back to 0. The Y axis, I think we need to do the Y. Yeah, so we need to animate the Y. So that's going down. Um so we have to say hashtag frame, divide that by 1000. Now we have n going in a animated way. As you can see. So all the ends are colored, they're animated. And now we have to do an animation of this N1, N2, N3. So let's go back into the layout mode. And we're going to now animate the shape keys. So I want to bring this to 0. Let's go into our data properties and let's bring this back to 0. 1, sorry. Let's go there. Then let's go to frame 10. Let's bring it up. Let's click I. Then let's go to the frame N2. Let's bring the shape key value to 1. Then let's go to frame 20. Let's bring it down. Then let's go to N3. And we must be on frame 20. N3 is not showing at 1. So we're going to click that. Then we're going to go to 30. 30. And we're going to bring it up. And we're going to click I, log in a keyframe. So 1, 2, 3. That's how it's animated. So that's how you do it. Okay, so it's animated. What we can do also is select all of these N1, N2, N3. All right, select all of them and then duplicate them. We can do that too. So we can basically make it reverse, and how it happens in the, no, not duplicate that, sorry, duplicate these keyframes. So Shift D, okay, and we're going to bring this one, the last one, to frame 100 maybe, and let's increase this. Let's bring this to 110. Let's bring this one to, so just reversing the keyframes. Let's bring this one to 120, 130, which should work where it reverses. So now we have it coming in, and then reversing. All we got to do is basically animate, go into compositing and just animate the camera. So let's animate the camera. So it's going up, going down, going up again is what we want, and then it goes down. And I think the last one, which is N3, we won't animate that one because this one we won't animate. So let's delete this. It stays. Oh no. Select all of these. So this one, want to have it stay. Let's delete that, and it's just gonna leave the one mesh so that can do our animation. Let's add in a camera. Let's say Control Alt Numpad 0. Let's go back a bit. There we go. This is our camera view, and it goes like that. And then I think I should make it at frame 80 where it reverses. So let's just select that right there. Okay. So now we have a camera setting, and let's see if you can animate the camera. So let's animate our pen with the camera. So we're going to now go into one frame 0 and click location. Then we're going to go into frame 100, 90, 95, and let's lock in a location. Go into frame 185 and let's go forward. Let's lock up location. Let's see how that looks. That's how it looks, and that's the way we want it to move. So now we're gonna go into this and let's lock in the location here by pressing K, and rotation, location, custom properties, and it comes here. Let's just move that a bit back. As it comes to 149, let's 149, 160, we scale it full. Let's let K. So now we have the effect, hopefully. Okay, so let's try and move this a bit front. And now we have effect. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's how you do it. But now we have one last thing to do is the compositing. So let's go into that. Let's get in a node here. So we'll have to have a glare node. And let's bring a viewer node. And let's render this. So I want to see how it looks. Let's render it. Make the background black. Um, so we have go into high, increase the threshold. Okay, let's leave the smooth. Change it to bloom. Uh, so point 1.3 point 1. Let's see how it looks in rendered. Even make it a bit higher, maybe. I'm gonna leave it at 0.1. Make the strength about 5. Oh, 2. 3. That looks good. That looks good. So basically, that's how you do this effect. We're going to finally put this. So you have your output. You going to FFmpeg. You then render it with MPEG 4. Click on that. Click on that. Click on motion blur. And yeah, that's basically how you render, how you do this effect. And hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you in another tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.